2FM. Game On's Fantasy Football.
You're very welcome to Game On's Fantasy Football Podcast. Andrew O'Connor here with Phil McGrath and Paul Caffrey from Fantasy Premier League Transfers.com. Straight into it for Game Week 25. Before we do that, a quick rundown on Game Week 24. Yes, a 3-0 victory for Sunderland over Newcastle at St James's Park got us underway. Goals from Johnson, Colback and Barini. Johnson maybe not disposable after all. West Ham 2-0 winners over Swansea. Carroll with 2 assists and a red card, and Nolan, his mate, with 2 goals for West Ham. Cardiff City 2, Norwich 1. Bellamy and Jones the score sheet on the score sheet for Cardiff. Snodgrass had got the proceedings underway there. Everton 2-1 winners eventually over Aston Villa. Bacuna again broke the deadlock, but Morales and Naismith got the 3 points for Everton. Fulham 0, Southampton 3, and that was an interesting game. Lallana got 1 and he got 2 assists. And actually, no, Lallana got 1, Lambert got 1, Rodriguez got 1, Lambert with 2 assists, and Klein with also an assist in that one. Hull City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1, Long with his first goal for his new club. His goal cancelled out by Paulinho. Stoke City 2, Manchester United 1. It just gets better and better and better for David Moyes and Manchester United fans. The goals scored, both of them by Charlie Adam, and United's one gave them some hope. Robin Van Persie with the goal for them. Mata with an all-important assist for Manchester United. And West Brom 1, Liverpool 1 in the first of the Sunday games. Anichebe cancelling out Sturridge's goal. That should have been 3 points for Liverpool. 2 points dropped for them. Arsenal didn't drop any. They won 2-0 over Crystal Palace. Chamberlain scored both the Ox in the box. He got 2 for Arsenal, and assist from Cazorla and Giroud. And Manchester City went down 1-0 at the hands of Chelsea, who parked 11 buses in front of Manchester City and also outplayed them. Tactical masterclass, a lot of people said, for Jose Mourinho. He got all 3 points. The goal came from Ivanovic. Ramirez got the assist, and Chelsea had the last laugh. More reaction to that and to Game Week 25 right now. Right, Phil, quick reaction to Game Week 24. How did you do?
Terrible.
Top of the table? My heart only bleeds for you.
That wild card.
The wild card?
Yeah, my team I had would have been pretty good this week
So
last week.
You played the wild card, wrecked it.
Yeah, but it's long-term plan.
All right.
Short-term pain.
Paul, I'm sure, will tell you how excited or unexcited he is about news of your bad game week in a minute. Let's crack on with Game Week 25, and it was an interesting one because Game Week 24 was quite difficult to pick a captain. This, methinks, slightly easier. A couple of really big games, a couple of really big juicy ones. Let's start at Anfield, will we?
We shall.
All right, we shall start at Anfield. It is Liverpool versus Arsenal, 12:45 this Saturday. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, it's I've heard Arsene Wenger speak today. He was asked, does he regret not getting Luis Suarez, and he kind of said, well, no, you only regret a player that you had and you let go rather than a player that was never yours. And I suppose he's right. Everyone's kind of expected Arsenal to fall away, myself included, but they're still winning week in, week out. They're still there, so you can't really argue with it.
Top of the table. Top of the table. I have a microphone as well. Top of the table.
Top of the table at the moment. But I mean, looking at the stats going into this one, Liverpool have won 4, drawn 1, and lost.
It's Paul and his horse.
It sounds like
yeah, or a coconut. Paul, what do you have? Do you have a horse or a coconut shell?
I've a coconut horse.
See, it's harking back to Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I think. Do you have a shrubbery?
Yeah.
Paul, play that coconut.
He's not the real Messiah. He's
Anyway.
a very naughty boy. But anyway,
It's the wrong movie. But anyway.
it doesn't matter.
It does. We want a shrubbery. Right. Arsenal or Liverpool? Liverpool. 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss in the last 6, unbeaten in the last 5, knocked up 33 goals in 12 home games, conceding 8 with 5 clean sheets. The Gunners, on the other hand, 5 wins and 1 draw in the last 6, 25 goals in 12 away games, and conceded 15 with 3 clean sheets. News of note, I suppose,
Johnson, Agger, Enrique and Sacco are all out for Liverpool for this one. In terms of injuries for the Gunners, Ramsey, Fellaini and Walcott are still out, where Wiltshire is rated at 75%. And listen to Wenger, I think he'll be in the matchday squad. Whether he starts or not, we'll have to wait and see.
Right, let's start then with the home side, Liverpool. Suarez or Sturridge? A lot of people have made that swap, and got a little bit of money,
freeing up a bit of cash. Well, I'll put it to you this way: since Daniel Sturridge has made his debut for Liverpool, the top 2 Premier League scorers are
Daniel Sturridge and Dzeko.
Sturridge and Suarez.
Oh, Sturridge and Suarez.
Suarez with 31, Sturridge with 24.
Dzeko gets for minutes on the pitch? I think it's Sturridge and Dzeko.
I mean, for minutes per goal certainly. But in terms of appearances, it's Suarez and Sturridge. The argument can be made for either, I suppose.
Who do you have after your wild card pick?
I still have Suarez.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to hang on to him. I just think he's probably going to get you more points in the long run. No, I've kind of said that before. I've been proven wrong, but I'm gonna stay with it. I think if Liverpool come up against some tougher teams, they certainly need to batten down the hatches and go Mourinho-esque with a bus. Sturridge will be the one to sacrifice before Suarez will. So just from that point of view, I think Suarez is certainly fireproof. Arsenal, since August,
there's nothing else in Liverpool. You're not touching anything else at Liverpool, are you? Just Suarez.
You can't back them for a clean sheet. Midfield, listen, I've made my opinions on Steven Gerrard well known on the podcast. You guys have argued with me. I was right, you were wrong.
His legs have gone. I said it a couple of weeks ago.
Listen,
before he scored that header.
Yeah. No, listen, for me it is Sturridge or Suarez. I'm not too keen on anything else.
All right, Paul, are you keen on anything else in Liverpool?
On the Liverpool side of things, not so much.
Right. Well, that's quick. Now let's turn quickly to Arsenal while you're still on that. Quick time. Who in Arsenal do you like the look of?
Well, I suppose, if you're looking at it, Giroud looks, I know we kind of slayed him saying he's not the type of striker we want in our own team. In a game where we're playing against arguably a second string defence for Liverpool, and in fairness, they're getting good results with that, and everything is running through him. If it's the case you think Arsenal will go on and get a result and possibly win that match, he will be the man to go for. In truth, I'm not overly enthused about this game. I really enjoy watching it, and I have Suarez, so he will play. But then again, other than that, I'm not really going to be looking at bringing people in. I suppose I just wondered, what did you guys make of Callum and his fractured spine? Talk about bad luck when you took a gamble.
Playing beach volleyball in Dubai. Yeah, it's a tough one, all right.
Yeah, I would have been excited if he'd been fit to have a look at him, as he's only coming into the game at 6 million. We won't see him for a while. I would say, unless you have anything else to add to this, Phil,
a lot of people are going to be jumping on the Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Would you call it a bandwagon or more just a tea trolley at this point?
I'd say it's a tea trolley at this point. Listen,
I don't know. It's really like a cart which is actually gaining momentum. If he continues through the centre, absolutely worth a look. I have doubts as to whether he will. So
I think it was very much a makeshift kind of thing. Certainly
that worked out.
Yeah, well, Flamini's suspended, Walcott's injured, Ramsey was out, Wiltshire was out. I did make the point last week that they would have difficulties in their midfield. Interesting fact heading into this game is that since August 2008, only 2 Premier League teams have hit the woodwork more than 100 times. That was Liverpool 128 and Arsenal 103. So you can expect the woodwork to be rattled over at Anfield this weekend. But
we won't go on and make any more jokes. But
no.
Funny enough, that was the same last season. Liverpool hit the woodwork more than any other team, I believe.
Finished up the same way. But for me, fantasy wise, I think it's Sturridge or Suarez. I don't fancy clean sheets anywhere, and really, I wouldn't be bringing any Arsenal players in for this. I know Arsenal won this one last year 2-0. Podolski and Cazorla got the goals, but this season I'm kind of going to steer clear.
Daniel Sturridge is a boyhood Arsenal fan, so will that give him a little bit more motivation? Is the question mark there.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no more to add. So let's move on and find more points somewhere else.
Yeah, I suppose the second focus game, we should go down to the Lane.
Why not? Let's go down to White Hart Lane, where Spurs are welcoming the visit of Everton.
this is another one I'm looking forward to. I think there could be good points in this.
The battle for 5th place.
Yeah, like both teams have a similar.
Or is it still 4th place?
Definitely still 4th place. Absolutely, yeah. But I think this will do. I mean, the winner of this game will go a long way towards cementing that challenge for 4th place. I mean, if Spurs were to go on and lose this, you could nearly consider counting them out. I don't know. I suspect that momentum which Tim Sherwood has brought to the club is probably coming towards its end.
Honeymoon is over.
Yeah, honeymoon is over. Reality is hitting. You know, outside of say Eriksen and Adebayor, is there any other players that you'd look at, Phil? Because for me, they're kind of the players I'd really be looking at on the Tottenham side of things, and I see, I suppose, little cause to consider any other players.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm exactly the same. I do think this one's going to be tight. It finished 2-2 last season, but looking at their records going into it, Spurs have 4 wins, 1 loss and a draw in their last 6, and Everton have 3 wins, 2 losses, or 2 draws and 1 loss in the last 6. Both sides have scored 14 goals home or away, depending on the way they've laid out. So Spurs have scored 14 and 12 at home, Everton have scored 14 and 12 away. Spurs have conceded 18 at the Lane. Tottenham have racked up 15 on their travels. Spurs with 5 clean sheets at home. Everton with 4 clean sheets on the road. There's not a
Coleman's
whole lot.
back. Well, that's going to make a
Coleman's
difference.
in contention. Was the words I heard. According to Martinez,
keeping him on his toes.
Yeah, he's in contention to start. Lukaku, of course, is still out with that ankle injury. Still no news as to exactly when he's going to be back. Spurs have no new major injury worries, which is a bit of a boost to them. And I have to say, if Coleman is back, I'd play him. I wouldn't put him on my bench anyway, but I mean, I do fancy Spurs to score. I mean, they've scored in all 8 of their last Premier League games since Sherwood has taken over, which is a big difference when you consider what they were doing prior to that. But certainly Paul's right. For me, Eriksen and Adebayor are probably the only ones in this worth looking at.
And you're going to play Coleman. Have you any other Everton players, Phil?
No.
Have you any Everton players other than Coleman? And have you got Coleman, Paul?
I do have Coleman, and he will play absolutely. Other Everton players, you can make the cases for your Morales and 1 or 2 more, but for me, they're just not quite there to get into the team. And then looking at Adebayor, if you have Adebayor in your squad, play him this week. But I mean, his goal return at home has been a little bit. It's poorer than it is when he's away from home, so I wouldn't be going rushing.
Has he gone back asleep, lads?
I didn't have him.
Has he gone back? Is he hibernating again?
No, he's not quite there. No, he's still delivering the performances. So we'll watch this space.
Okay, usual suspects in that one. What about the third one, Phil?
Old Trafford.
You're going down.
Old Trafford.
Or United are going down.
This one of these two teams.
40 points. So
40 points. Well, I mean, you're writing now. Spurs off. Spurs are on 44, and you've nearly written them off in the last 2 minutes. So, if you've written Spurs off, how do you feel about Man United, Paul? You're going to see them on Sunday at 4 o'clock. You have a season ticket. It's your investment.
Premier League survival here. This is what I'm talking about. We have another season. That 40-point mark has been hit. Now.
Woo-hoo.
But seriously, have you written United off that 4th place, Paul?
For United to get that 4th place, if it was any other team in any other season, I would absolutely write them off. I think I've said this a couple of times. It's going to be a fantastic.
The problem for this team is that it's this season.
It certainly is. And the first time we see Matip, Van Persie, and Rooney together, they suffer a defeat, which is absolutely not what was needed. I mean, looking at this game, what do we have? We have a team full of Rene Mullenstein. He's been very active in the transfer market. He's taken Olympiakos midfielder Nkoglu across. He's shipped out.
Easy for you to say.
Ruiz. No, I don't want to try to say that a second time. I mean, he would have been playing Old Trafford in a few weeks' time had he not went for that transfer in the Champions League. But I don't really know what to expect from Fulham. I don't really know whether Rene Mullenstein, what way he's going to set his team out. And then if we look at the other side, I mean, David Moyes has a great opportunity now to play Januzaj, Van Persie, Rooney and Mata together in a home game. They should win. They should go on and get a couple of goals early on in. So I'm
expected to see Fellaini in there.
Well, Fellaini would be coming into the centre, so that's where maybe your Jones or your Carrick or someone like that would drop out, or your Fletcher. So it really depends. So it'll probably be Carrick and maybe Fellaini, and then those are your attacking four.
Yeah. Where are the points though, lads? Stick with the points.
The points here for me, I know I've backed one Mata. Okay, you might not be able to rave about the assists that he's collected since in the Man United shirt, but he has scored in the last 2 games. He's going to be pretty much at the centre of whatever positive play United have, so I'd be going for him. And Januzaj, despite not getting the healthy returns he deserves for his performances, he's kind of been the pass before the goal, if that makes sense.
Third man syndrome. Third man syndrome.
Yeah.
The assister's assist.
And a number of that has been down to kind of strikers kind of fluffing their shots and the ball breaking to someone else and then them scoring. But the key thing is, it's him who's got the ability to deliver a ball very, very well and the confidence to go in and take the game by the scruff of the neck and have the shot. So I'd nearly make the argument that I think Januzaj and funny enough, Eden Hazard also falls into this category of players who are playing very, very well and on the cusp of delivering a lot of fantasy football points. So they would be the two I'd be going for. I do have Rooney in my team. I'll give him this game week and then see what to make of it after that, whether to keep him or not. But absolutely, Manchester United would have to be backing themselves for goals. They'll have to go out and attack Fulham and kill them off early. And in that case, you're really looking at a couple of goals for United. And look, it's any one of those front four. I mean, obviously, if you can afford Van Persie, great. He'll be the furthest man forward. But if not, I mean, Mata at the heart, I think Januzaj, cheap alternative, and then Rooney. So in one respect, we'll learn a lot now after this game as to whether that extra week's training has suited Man United, and they can actually go and beat a team that they're expected to beat and do it in a comfortable manner.
All right,
we saw that a little bit against Cardiff, and now let's see if they can push on at home and continue that home form.
Those 2 minutes, we could probably sum them up with Mata, Januzaj, Robin Van Persie, and Rooney. Somewhere in there.
I mean, pretty much, let's be honest about it. Fulham have conceded 28 goals in their last 12 away games, and they've kept just 1 clean sheet in the last 12 in all competitions, conceding 29 goals, averaging 2.4 a game conceded. It has to be United. It's the only place worth looking.
If you're looking for a very cheap defender, Breda Hangeland is back, 4.2. Looks good value, but not
the Fulham
this week.
fans, even on transfer deadline day, weren't too pleased he was staying. But listen, United for a clean sheet, and whichever midfielders you have, stick him in.
Very quick, best of the rest coming up now. Right, going to fly through these. Aston Villa. Okay, Benteke.
Yeah.
Apart from him?
No. Interestingly, Benteke has the second best conversion rate in the last 6 games, behind Robin Van Persie.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't know that.
No, we didn't. Now they do. Right, on the West Ham side of things, Nolan did very well last week, but
I actually think there could be a case made for Andy Carroll when he comes back from suspension.
Yeah, and that he did appeal that, and bizarrely it didn't get rescinded. Right, Chelsea Newcastle. Chelsea, brilliant. Paul just mentioned Eden Hazard. He was Messi-like against Manchester City. I thought he was brilliant. I would say it was the best performance of a single player this season. Brilliant.
I had him on my bench.
Yeah. I think I had Phil Bardsley on my bench as well.
So did I.
Yeah, it was a good call. Right.
But I mean, outside of Hazard, for me, Chelsea wise, that's it. We seen Oscar suffered. He didn't even get a start against City, so I think for me it has to be Hazard, and I wouldn't be looking at. Still not looking at Chelsea strikers.
Yeah.
I think when you're looking at the Chelsea side of things, Eden Hazard, absolutely, that performance was excellent against Man City. But when you look into the stats, I mean, the amount of shots he's having on goal, the amount of players he is creating chances for is magnificent. And if you go over the last 4 games, probably someone who's kind of gone under the radar a little bit, but Willian was very impressive in that game against Man City as well. Obviously, he was in at Oscar's. Oscar lost his place to him, but he himself has he's created something along the lines of 25 chances for teammates to score over the last couple of games. So in these kind of home fixtures against the likes of your Newcastle and other teams who are coming who aren't quite on form, I think those 2 players are 2 players who are going to come into form and do very well over the coming weeks, and absolutely worth considering for your team.
All right, there you have it. Let's keep moving on down. Oh, Newcastle.
No.
No.
Next.
Crystal Palace and West Brom. Crystal Palace, we've said if you want a cheap defender.
Yeah, I think you could look to Palace certainly for a clean sheet this week. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Palace, it doesn't really matter which one you get. So cheapest chips, Joe Ward for me I think is the cheapest option into the Palace back line. Certainly if you have Speroni, I'd be playing him. And
Go on.
punching it might be worth
Yeah,
looking
punching
at midfield.
still 5 million, I think. Paul?
Just be cautious if you're going to purchase Speroni. Obviously, we saw Hennessy come in there, so I wonder.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a that may scupper my my wildcard goalkeepers, but we'll keep an eye on it.
What do you think of Pepe Mel's influence on West Brom?
Next,
I'm not too impressed.
No,
to be honest.
he hasn't put a pep in my step.
All right. The Canaries up against Manchester City. I would love to be them after Man City probably got the Spanish equivalent of a hairdryer on them.
El hairdryer.
El hairdryer. Oh.
Yeah,
That's
like
the name of the podcast.
El
El hairdryer. Oh.
Listen, City. It's City all the way. I fancy City for a clean sheet. City in the middle. City in the top. City all morning. City all day. City all night.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to name names.
It's like
at City,
Mambo number City.
Yeah.
Sound of
Actually,
silence.
the only thing that I feel very, very sorry for City about is the fact that their run of scoring in consecutive Premier League home games ended at 61.
Do you hear the small little fiddle?
What?
No, because it's so small you can't even hear it.
5 short of United's record.
God bless them. Sorry. Right. Southampton is the only thing we'll get to be smug about for the whole season, so enjoy it. Southampton at home to Stoke City.
Listen, Lallana's still doing a job. I wasn't so sure he'd keep it up, so I took him out of my team and I played my wildcard. Yep, that backfired. He may have to go back in, but for me, he's definitely worth a look. Ricky Lambert surprised me last week with his performance. I thought he was excellent, but I do think that he's still not worth your third striker spot. But if you were limited on funds, you could do a lot worse.
Okay. High praise from Phil. Okay, we'll move on. We're not talking about Stoke City, despite their wonderful victory over Manchester United.
Listen, it wasn't really that wonderful, and I'm not just saying that from a United point of view.
No.
They created very little.
Even possession-wise, it was
they
brutal.
defended well, but United didn't create a whole lot.
Yeah.
And the goals they did get, one was a deflection and the other is just an absolute corker that you can do nothing about.
It was a poor game, and Charlie Adam did well with the second.
Just goes to show one Mata can't do it on a wet and rainy day.
Lovely assist, by the way, for the second Charlie Adam
Yeah.
goal. Can you remember it? What a lovely slick
Impressive.
miss-hit assist. Sunderland Hull City. Paul. Sunderland flying. They've just beaten Newcastle. They're now up to what? They're leading the league. No, they're not. They're on what? 24 points. So they're out of the drop zone, and they're well up. They're in about 15th position.
Listen, they win this weekend now, and they're pushing towards mid-table.
Oh yeah. A win this weekend would have them in mid-table.
They could get the 10th place if results went their way.
How many Sunderland players do you have in your team? I have 2.
I have none. Oh, one. Bardsley.
I have Bardsley and Keeson Young at 4.8. Paul. Sunderland.
I look, Johnson, we know about Bardsley, absolutely. He's having probably one of his better seasons. And they're the players to be going for. I mean, yeah, you can make the argument for having Manoni in there. It might be worth maybe jumping off the Speroni, off the Moroni.
Yeah, well, listen,
Manoni,
I mean,
just because of how it sounds, really.
Well, Manoni has he's got the best shots per save ratio in the league this season. Sunderland are averaging 1.3 points per game with him, as opposed to 0.4 points without him. So certainly when he's there, Sunderland are all the better for it. But Adam Johnson, I think for me, is probably the standout performer. He's either scored or assisted in 8 Premier League goals this season, which is 3 more than any other player so far this calendar year.
Go on, Paul. Sorry.
Do I think it lasts? I honestly didn't think it would. That's why I didn't bring him in when I was doing my wildcard. Again, much like Lallana, I thought, you know what, he's probably coming to the end of that streak. Let's see if we can find where the next one's coming from. And I could be wrong.
I would suspect it will last up until game week 28 when they have that cup final. And I mean, if they get a couple of more points between now and then, they could probably ease off a little bit towards the end of the season. I mean, this all happens subconsciously. It's not a purposeful choice.
I know what you mean.
He's valued for a few more games anyway, and let's see what happens. What do you make? Long is someone who I'm interested in bringing in.
Well, I said it last week. I said keep an eye on him. I didn't expect him to go and score on his debut, but listen.
Cameron Jones is another one who did it, and he's only 4.6 million. So
yeah, I'm more interested in someone else at Cardiff now than Cameron Jones. But I mean,
who are you interested in Cardiff, Phil? Zaha, Wilfred.
Absolutely.
He was the man of the match the other day, came on, made both goals.
If you listen to Solskjaer after the game last week,
Cristiano Ronaldo,
he changed the game. He, according to Solskjaer, he provided that spark that they were looking
for sure.
And I think he could be a very serious challenger to the likes of Januzaj in your midfield. And I think if Zaha is given the game time, which I suspect he's been nearly guaranteed, hence the reason he was allowed to make the loan move.
5.4 seems like a good bit of business.
He could very well prove to be a very good differential for a couple of weeks, because I do think he will become a bandwagon worth getting on. But for me, I'd have a good look at him.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit of genius there from Phil. 5.4 from Wilfred Zaha, and his price, just tell you how much his price has gone up in the last week since he's had that wonderful. It actually, would you believe, hasn't gone up at all.
You think he started the season at 6, he's gone down to 5.4. And should we take a moment to pause and reflect for Michael Laudrup?
Selected by 2.3. Let's have 2 seconds of silence for Michael Laudrup. Right, that's enough. I think that was just the right amount of time for that. Captain's picks now. Manchester United at home and Chelsea at home. They're the things I think will be most active on the...
of my favourite things.
For captain's picks, yes.
Yeah, Van Persie for me against Fulham is the man to look at. If I didn't have Van Persie, I'd be tempted to captain Mata. I think United are going to run riot, and I hope I'm not wrong. Outside of that, Hazard against Newcastle for Chelsea. Yeah, it's probably...
difficult to argue against your logic, Paul. Would you go along with those choices?
Yeah, for me, Mata's first choice and Hazard is vice captain. That's where I'm going this week.
Okay. James, how's James driving this evening? Is he getting you home well?
Yeah, he's got the hat on, so it's all good.
Very good, very good. That's what we'd like to hear.
Paul doesn't like when he won't wear the hat.
Standards not slipping in the Caffrey's house. Right, let us move swiftly to the end of the pod. Live time starts this Saturday at 10:30. It finishes at 11:30. That's the deadline for your teams. Hashtag live time on Twitter. You'll be speaking to Phil, I suggest. And lads, thank you very much for your company as always. And I look forward to a successful Game Week 25 for myself. Good evening. Good night. Paul, thanks as always.
Best of luck, guys. Bye bye.
God damn, we need it.
Hairdryer.